Hey, this is Meridith Elliott Powell, and once again, it is Saturday morning, 9 a.m. Eastern, and it is time for, you know what, Sales Logic, the show where we dive into the strategies, discuss the steps, everything that you need to know to sell effectively. I'm here with my co-host, Mark Hunter. How you doing, Mark?
Good morning, and you have a much better voice than I do this morning. But hey, what the heck, right?
Yeah, you got a little frog in your throat. Allergy or cold?
I think it's a cold. I don't know.
Yeah.
Who knows? And I haven't had a chance to talk to you yet this morning, so I haven't been exercising my voice.
Yeah, well, maybe you're just working just a little bit
That's
too
right.
hard. We got a good show on tap for today, so maybe I should just hit the video and we should jump in.
Let's go.
Prospect with integrity, we will get customers who have integrity. Integrity is the foundation from which everything is built on.
You better understand value. But at the end of the day, sales is a relationship business. It is a people business. It is an emotional business.
This is Sales Logic.
This is Sales Logic, and you're probably wondering why we come to you on a Saturday morning to talk about sales. Well, because you know what? If sales is a lifestyle, it is not something you do just Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. So what better way to reinvest in yourself than kicking off Saturday morning? So I'm just going to give you a quick overview of how the show works. Many of you join us every Saturday morning, but for those who don't, we always kick off with a question from our audience. That's right. We want you to be a part of the show. So if you have a question, don't forget to just put it out there on social media, #SalesLogic, or you can go to our website, saleslogicpodcast.com. You see it right there, and you can submit your questions there. We discuss a topic, we highlight a book, and you walk away with a lightning round, things that you can do in sales to put into place first thing Monday morning, because we want you to get return on investment, or even if you're going to sell this afternoon. So Mark, what's on tap for today?
Well, what's on tap? We got a great question. Boy, my voice is like, wow.
It's going.
Here's the topic: top strategies to stand out in a crowded marketplace. Maybe you just have a voice like me, and that'll help you stand out. Okay. The question, Todd from Orlando. I work in the financial services industry, and despite the fact that the economy is moving, I am struggling to meet my goals every month. It just seems to be getting harder and harder to get my prospects' attention. Help.
Well, no kidding. I mean, you work in financial services. I mean, here's the up and the down. Financial services, there's lots of options out there. And back when I was in financial services, all we had to worry about were other banks and credit unions. Now you got the whole fintech world and everybody and their brother getting into the financial services space. But the upside is money is something that people want to find products and services to help them be more efficient. So you're in a space where there's a lot of need. There may be a lot of competition. So you've got to figure out how to build your reputation in the marketplace. You know, back in the day, we used to rely on the company to be the one that is recognized. When you had the pillars in the community, such as the First Unions and the Wachovias. But now it's about creating your own personal brand and really positioning yourself as the expert. And I would say that the first place to start is you need to realize that traditional sales training gets you in the game at halftime. And you need to realize, even if your company has a marketing department, you still need to market yourself. And that's where sales begins today.
I think without a doubt, you're spot on with that. I happened to speak Tuesday of this week to 650 financial planners. And this was a major topic that came up. And a lot of people were concerned about their competitors doing all this advertising. There's all this noise out there on television, cable, the internet, all this sort of stuff. And I said, relax. That's great. That's great for you. That's creating awareness. You are the one that makes the difference. You're the one. And picking up on what you said, this is where you yourself have to be the one who positions themselves to be a person of trust and integrity. And how do you do that? I think you have to be authentic and transparent, because there's so much, I can't do that. I can't do that. In other words, that there are so many danger stories out there that people are scared. People are scared to actually react. So when you can stand out separately and be seen, trust, integrity, authenticity, and transparency, you have the ability to break through with all the noise out there. I love the noise. It creates awareness.
Yeah, my husband is a dentist, and when the white strips started to come out, like Crest and everybody and their brother started making teeth whitening, everybody thought that it was going to be a disaster for the dentist industry, and it actually became the best thing that ever happened to him, because it really profiled why straight, good-looking white teeth matter and how different it can make you look. But you have to position yourself to capitalize on it. So you let all the marketing and advertising go out there, but then what specifically are you doing to position yourself as an expert in the field? And to do that, we know that you need to blog, you need to do videos, you need to be out there on LinkedIn or whatever your social media preference is. You need to be communicating with your customers, but you need to be communicating according to the right problems. You need to be solving the right problems. So in other words, if you want to stand out in the marketplace, you need to begin by understanding what are the hottest issues with your clients right now.
And when you stand out to your narrow slice of who is your perfect customer. You can't create so much noise that everybody's going to see you in the marketplace. Focus your message, focus your effort against your target market. I was dealing with a financial planner this week who was at this meeting, and he said, I only work with teachers, public school teachers. I said, that's spot on. That's spot on. He knows where his marketplace is. And he gears all of his messages, all of his work. What does that do? He becomes bigger than life amongst public school teachers. This is so key. You want to stand out. Find a different area to stand out in.
Yeah, that's so key. I call that the Amazon effect. When Amazon first came into the marketplace and they were selling books online, for most of us, we thought that was crazy. But they sold to people who thought that was a good idea, and those people sold the rest of us. So you got to niche to expand, because I'm sure if somebody shows up with $20 million to invest, even that financial planner that only deals with teachers would be open to taking that $20 million investor. But he got there by making sure that he spoke to the right audience. Todd, in essence, what we're telling you is that the sales cycle starts sooner than you think it does. It doesn't start by you reaching out and making contacts. It starts by what you're doing to get recognized in the marketplace. So you need to ask yourself, what's your plan? What's your strategy to attract the business before you ask for the business?
That is so spot on. And add to that, here's a whole piece. Your communication has to be 365 days a year. Yeah. Nobody's going to talk to you without first Googling you, without first going to LinkedIn or whatever it might be. So you got to make sure that you're consistent with your message you're out there. Now, that doesn't mean that you spend 10 hours a day on social media. No, it doesn't. But it does mean that you have good footprints. You've created a good path. You've created a good track that people can see who you are. You and I do this all the time. It's a little bit why we do Sales Logic podcast.
Right.
It helps us stand out in a crowded marketplace. We should probably jump over and transition to the topic, which is top strategies to stand out in a crowded marketplace. So jump in.
Well, I think it's, a lot of what we have been discussing, and a lot of what we've given Todd is, first is, Mark, I'll steal yours, is you need to understand who you're trying to stand out to. That's really key. I call it shortening the sales cycle. And the best way to identify that is to write down your top 10 clients that bring a smile to your face. They easily buy your products and services. They don't give you a hassle about price, and see what they have in common. You'll start to pick up themes, and that will become the description. Then you need to understand, what are the issues. Don't just write a blog. Don't just shoot a video. Think about what customers are asking you, what they want to know, and then start to solve those problems.
And as you solve those problems for those individual people, they will begin telling other people. Your best way to stand out in a crowded marketplace is to have others talking about you. And so you've got to cultivate that. You've got to nurture that. You've got to encourage that. This Todd, he's in financial services. That business thrives off of referrals and references. Well, every business does. I want to have people talking about me. That's how I really stand out.
Yeah, and if you want people to talk about you, you better feed the messages. You better feed the messages out there. I talk a lot when I'm speaking from the stage about an investment advisor, ironically, that I work with. People ask me all the time if I want a second opinion, and I say absolutely no. I mean, John's the best investment advisor I've ever worked with, and John's finished top 5 in his company 5 years in a row. He's part of the top. He works for most safe and sound financial institutions in the country. And now I know these things because when he wins awards, he sends his customers thank you notes. Couldn't do it without people like you. When the company is named the most safe and sound financial institution in the country, he sends us the article and says, just thought you'd like to know your investments are safe with us. So he's giving us reasons to talk about him, to create that buzz in the marketplace. You need to do that too. You can't just hope that the things you do get recognized. You need to create that buzz and awareness.
Now, don't think what we just talked about only works in financial services.
Yes,
because it works everywhere. I was talking to a company I do quite a bit of coaching with and consulting with. They're in the advertising services arena. They too have received several awards, and they too are reaching out to every one of their clients, letting them know, thanking them. Because it was the work that they were able to do for those clients that allowed them to get that, award. Now, what does that do? They say, wow, these people are really good. They in turn share and talk to them. And more importantly, within this advertising services company, everyone is walking around right now with their chest puffed out a little higher. They're walking a little bit taller because they've been recognized amongst their peers as being the best in the industry. Wow. Don't think confidence doesn't in turn allow you to stand out more in a crowded marketplace.
Absolutely. The other is you need to track and measure. You need to know what gets opened, what newsletters get read, what videos people are responding to. And speaking of video and speaking of blogs and things that you post, when you do that, you need to engage with your audience. Really important. Just don't just post something out there and forget about it. Jump on and really engage with them.
That's so true, especially with social media. I will see people posting stuff on social media. People will make comments and they never come back into the conversation. It is a conversation. That's what you're having. I want to add some on how to stand out in a crowded marketplace. You want to create a peer group, a posse group, a tribe, whatever it is, of about 20 to 25 people that have big voices in your marketplace. These are people that you want to invest in. These are people that you want to stay in touch with. These are people you want to develop relationships with. These 20, 25 people, how many ever you want them to know you very, very well. Now, here's what's going to happen. Because they're big voices in the marketplace, because they talk to other people, they have input, they have influence, they're going to carry you out even further. You stand out in a crowded marketplace by having other people carry you for you.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Again, you need to have a plan and you need to have a strategy. You need to think about this. And so you need to say, if I'm going to stand out in my marketplace, if I am going to have people know who I am and what I'm about, you need to know where your target market is going and looking for information. Pretty much, I'm consistent about posting on LinkedIn. I don't really care what I do on Facebook. I don't care what I do on Twitter. I barely use Instagram. My clients are not there. I go to LinkedIn. I'm really consistent with my newsletter that goes both out to my traditional list as well as my LinkedIn followers. I know where my group lives. There are certain industry magazines that I write for. And I write for those because that's where my target market is going. So don't just throw content out there. You need to position it as to where your target market is going to be.
And when you're looking to stand out in a crowded marketplace, it's going to take time. This is not something, and again, I had a new financial planner come up to me when I was at this meeting and said he'd only been working in the industry for about a year. And I said, hey, it's going to take time. It's going to take time. When you are looking to create a presence, to create a reputation, to create a positioning in the marketplace, you got to look at this as being a long game.
Yeah.
But what this means is that stuff you're doing today will pay out 3, 6, 9 months, 12 months from now. It will pay out. It will work for you. Just be patient, which means you've got to be disciplined to not fall off the wagon. I see too many people, what they do is they do some sort of strategy. I'm going to stand out in the marketplace. I'm going to do this. And they do it for a couple of weeks. And then, it just didn't work. So I'm not going to do it anymore. Wrong. You got to ride that horse for a pretty long time.
Yeah, consistency is probably one of the most important things. And it's hard, right? I mean, we're salespeople. So the beautiful thing about making a sales call is that you either get acceptance or rejection pretty quickly. You know where you stand. When you're trying to build your reputation in the marketplace, you don't necessarily know if it's working or it isn't working, but I would err on the side of believing that it's working because it's better to get your messaging out there, but I was thinking about this the other day because I had a big travel week, this week. And it can be hard for me when I travel to be consistent about getting information out there. And so I was kind of hard pressed on Wednesday morning. I needed to get down to present my program. I wanted to hear the speaker in front of me, and I really needed to shoot a video. And I was trying to think of something to shoot a video about. And I thought, well, I'll just do it on this. And I stopped myself because I didn't even know if what I was shooting a video about was relevant or not. I didn't even know if my audience really cared. I was more leaning towards just getting the job done than making sure I was putting content out there that was good. And so as much as Mark and I are telling you to be consistent, to get it out there, check yourself. Don't put content out there that isn't good, that isn't relevant, that doesn't ask people, that doesn't make them think. If you don't have a new twist on it, go back, rethink, come up with something better before you go out there and put it out there.
Yeah, I like that. Noise doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
I'd much rather put one or two things out there. I'd much rather have one or two great conversations with an influencer in the marketplace than showing up at a networking event with 75 people who really don't mean anything.
Yeah.
Limit your focus your energy, and it's amazing at what you'll be able to attain. But you have to be willing to be consistent with it.
Yeah.
You have to stick to it. So did you ever shoot the video?
Yeah, I ended up shooting it, but I waited until after my speaking engagement, because what I thought I would do is wait to see what my audience asked me. And it was really interesting because what my audience ended up asking me about, I didn't even know was a thing. One of their hottest topics that day was I had a group of CEOs. They run, ironically, again, financial institutions all over the country. And what they were dealing with was entitled employees, is how to handle entitled employees at a time when they're scared to death to lose anybody. So how do you basically manage that? So it wasn't necessarily, I wouldn't have shot a video about that, but I decided just to wait and pay attention to what my audience is telling me.
See, that's interesting. The marketplace told you how to respond.
Yep.
This is what's so key. It's very easy for us to think, oh, this is what we got to talk on. No, the marketplace will guide you. Hey, good morning, Patrick. Always great to have Patrick in the house.
It is.
Hey.
All right, let's talk book.
Yes. You got the book. I got the book. Why don't you hold up your book too? That way we can just prove to Lee Sauls that we both have his book.
Well, wait a second. Wait. You go ahead and do that. Hold on.
Oh. She has the t-shirt. Oh, wow. Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. I've got to sell a different t-shirt, but unfortunately
I don't have the t-shirt, but I have 2 copies of the book. Okay. Now, Mark, I'm going to be honest. I haven't had the chance to jump into this one yet. What have you had a chance to? But I
Yes.
know I did read Lee's last one, which was incredible.
Yes, and it really picks up on where Lee's last book leaves off, because he shares some great stories in there, shares some great stories. And what I like about Lee's style is you can see yourself in that situation. The strategies he shares, the strategies, and again, just like his other book, it is spot on. And what I like about it is it's a fairly fast read.
Yeah, I noticed that.
And it's laid out in a way that there's kind of offset type. I don't know what you call it in the printing world, but so you automatically get pulled in, and there's some key lists in there. So it really is a book that you're going to read and you're going to hold on to. So
yeah, I'm excited about it. I plan on reading it this weekend. It said anything that that Lee puts out there is always really good. And I love the fact that it's sell different, all new sales differentiation strategies to outsmart, outmaneuver, and outsell the competition. So if you're looking for innovative strategies to talk about everything that we've been talking about today, this is truly the book for you. I'm super excited about it. Maybe we can eventually get Lee on here a little bit to talk about it. But Dylan, thank you so much from joining us from Sri Lanka. How exciting is that?
I love it. It's got to be probably about probably about 8 o'clock in the evening there. So yeah, it's absolutely terrific. Hey, let's jump into the lightning round. Best strategies for getting prospects to choose you over the competition. I
gotta mention, I am feeling that Patrick has already read this book, because he said great opening story about dry cleaning. Now I'm basically excited, because I love stories. They're my favorite things to read in a book. So probably a good way to start out. So Mark, will you repeat the lightning round? I'm sorry.
Best strategy. You're distracted.
I know, I was distracted.
Best strategies for getting prospects to choose you over the competition.
Number one is you have to give them a reason to choose you. I call this my Paul Harvey strategy, which just completely dated me, because probably 3/4 of the people listening to this have no idea who Paul Harvey is, but he was an old radio host that used to tell the rest of the story. And the way his radio show would work you would do the entire show, and then he would reveal something at the end. It was the rest of the story. And what I love about that is you need to understand that if a customer is looking at you, you look vanilla, you look exactly like your competitor. If you're not giving them a reason to choose you, prospects won't choose you over the competition.
I'm going to add to that. It's have other people be carrying your water for you. No, I don't mean that negatively. I mean that positively. You need to have other people who are talking about you actively with other people, because people take references from other people they know.
If you want prospects to choose you over your competition, they need to have heard of you and about you. I believe that by the time you get through the door, they're already bought into you. Your job at that point is to bring them into is to start to talk about the product or service and the problems that you're solving. But they have bought into you. I know you know this, but the first and most important sale you are going to make is you.
Without a doubt. What does Google say about you? Because again, before they select you, whatever it is, they're going to Google you. What's it say about you?
Yeah. Oh, Diane, I love this strategy. When someone gets a promotion or a new job, I send them a congratulations and an article I've written that I think appeals to them, help them in that new role. That's a great way to get yourself out out there. You know, if you happen to sell locally or regionally or even on a national level, what can you do to position yourself as an expert in the industry? I mean, a lot of your clients go to conferences, they go to events. Can you be a speaker there? Could you sponsor the main stage speaker and maybe get to do the introduction? The moment you are in front of an audience, you just got elevated to expert position. So what can you do to get elevated in the industry?
I like that. You may only sell locally.
Yeah.
But you know what? You want to be recognized globally. When you're recognized globally, you have more value locally.
Absolutely. Another way to get prospects to choose you is to get another prospect or customer to recommend you. I've got a great CEO that I work with that I love him because he said, any CEO you want me to call, I'll call. And even if there isn't a relationship there, it's just one CEO calling another that makes all the difference. That makes all the difference in the world.
You stand out because you have that personal connection. You have created a level of trust and a level of integrity with that person. You want your prospect to choose you. That's how you do it. That's the magic. Why don't you share one more? I'll share one more. We'll close it down.
Yeah, I'm going to say that I want to go back to something that Mark had talked about and said, what is Google saying about you? You need to understand that the very first thing somebody's going to do before they ever agree to meet with you is Google you. And so you need to go out there and see what they're finding. And Patrick, you're right. Get yourself on a podcast, do a video, send that out to prospects.
I love it. And I'm going to say, be consistent. Be consistent. Have discipline with what you do. That's how you create the reputation that people will say, I want to do business with you. Hey, I want to say thank you for listening to Sales Logic this week. If you like what you hear, rate, subscribe, and review the show on your favorite podcast app. If something we've said has earned you a single dollar, hey, consider telling a friend about our show. It's how we grow to help you grow. I'm Mark Hunter.
And I'm Meridith Elliott Powell.
Remember, when you sell with confidence and integrity,
all of this uncertainty suddenly becomes your competitive advantage.
And the sale becomes logical.
All right. What a great show. Thank you so much. I love it when the audience is hot and engaged. We will see you right here next week, 9 a.m. Eastern, for another episode of Sales Logic. Please, if you have questions, reach out to us on saleslogicpodcast.com. We'd love to feature you on the show, and we want to cover topics that are relevant. We'll see you next week.